Hello everyone, welcome back to PlueOneGaming Reviews. This is Pat, and today I'm reviewing Resistance 2. This is one of the few things I liked about Resistance 2. It adds a lot of replayability for me and my friends, and it adds an interesting way for the player to actually interact with the universe in going on missions and fighting Chimera and killing them. It's quite an interesting way for them to actually add in co-op instead of just single-player co-op like in Resistance 1. Now, the checkpoint issue from my first review of Resistance are somewhat taken care of. With most of the times I died, I didn't lose much more than 5 minutes progress. This is a much needed improvement on a relatively simple issue they did fix, and I'm quite happy about that. Resistance 2 was lacking story and the narrator from the previous title, which quickly and easily told the player what they were doing and why they were doing it, giving the player direction. There was also a lack of any real character development except through intel, but nothing more than a backstory giving the player no real reason to care about the characters as they get killed off as you play through the game. Single player was far more frustrating and confusing than it should have been. Many times I had no idea where to go and got lost on many levels. I find it very frustrating this problem also comes over to the multiplayer co-op I mentioned earlier, furthering my annoyance at a relatively simple problem that shouldn't have even been there in such a large budget title. Another problem is less Insomniac style weapons, meaning odd weapons that add interesting and innovative ways to get through a fight. This is further hampered by the two-weapon limit by adding more insult to injury by requiring the player to take the more stable standby weapons for whatever conflict ahead, thus allowing very little experimentation in comparison to the first Resistance. I'm just mentioning this, I'm not trying to do any spoilers, but the final boss fight was just odd. My final thoughts on going into this review is that Resistance 1 pulled me in with the campaign, while Resistance 2 pulled me in with the co-op missions. I found the game far more visceral and unforgiving compared to Resistance 1, with only having two weapons at any time hampered a lot of the fun that could be had. The boss fights are also far less forgiving and unbelievable that Nathan Hale even survives the encounter. I suggest a rent if anyone is interested in knowing the story behind Resistance for the upcoming release. Past that, only if you're really interested, I would suggest buying it, because the price these days would be very cheap. Alright, thanks for listening. Hopefully we'll have Deus Ex Human Revolution up in a few days. Anyways, take care and see you guys later.